This piece is called Lunch, and this was done for the Thoreau Center for Sustainability. And actually, this is not from Kehoe Beach. This is from Crissy Field Beach, where people told us, oh, there is no plastic on that beach. Never, never, you won't find a thing. So we took a lunch break, an hour and a half, the two of us, and we walked that beach from the warming hut out, I don't know what, about a quarter mile, so not very far, and then back again. And this is what we were able to find during that lunch period. And it's about 70 feet of plastic strung bit by bit next to one another, and all of this is washing up on Crissy Field Beach.
Oh, this is fun. One of the things that Charles Moore did was he estimated how many pieces of visible plastic are in the entire ocean. And so his estimate was there are 46,000 pieces of visible plastic in all of the oceans. In every square mile, yeah. 46,000 pieces in every square mile. So that was a little daunting. So what we did is we figured, well, a square block. So this is 4,600 pieces of plastic floating in the pond outside of the Gleason Library at USF.
And just a detail, we just wired up all of those pieces.
You want to tell them about the wire melting?
No, that was a disaster. Okay.
Okay. So this is at the San Francisco Museum. This is in the cafeteria. And one of my older boy collects Fiestaware. And the colors of the plastic are really intriguing. So he looked at it and he said, you know, there is an unaccountable proclivity going on here. Your plastic looks and matches really well with the Fiestaware. So we created this series of work. Do you have more of these?
Yeah. Yeah. And we thought it'd be a perfect place to serve it up at the museum cafe. And so we did complementary as well as colors that went well together. Beauty is a really important part, really part of the fun for us, is making things look really interesting and really enticing. And they're great colors, great art supplies.
It was, what year was it, 2004 or 5 into this project. I had a disc injury in my back and I couldn't bend over to pick up plastic, so I decided I would just take one little area and just see what I could find. And I started finding these little morsels that looked like grains of sand or little pieces of quartz, but they were plastic. And we had no idea what they were, so we Googled what plastic nuggets or plastic, you know, we started doing some research, and we found out these are called nurdles, or mermaid's tears. And it turns out that they are, by their number, the most ubiquitous pieces of plastic in the ocean.
And the frightening thing is at first you don't see them. Of course, you see the large chunks of visible plastic, but then on closer inspection, smaller and smaller. And these have an uncanny resemblance to fish eggs or grains of sand and are mistaken, rightly so, by fish and birds. So we wanted to make an exposition that made these things large. So some of you may have been at Stanford last evening and saw the large prints of these magnified many times.
Let's go back. I want to go back to this thing. Okay. So, I mean, the point is over and over again is dross to gold. So taking this junk and making it into something that's visible and it gets your attention, that's the frontispiece. Let's see, the line from the poem is a Mary Oliver poem, and it was springtime, and the rhododendrons opened their pink and red blouses. So you want something to be beautiful so that people will pay attention. So that was the whole idea with this. The other thing with the nurdles is they're fresh plastic, so they're chemically open, and so they're very, very absorptive.
There's a scientist in Tokyo that is studying this worldwide, and he invites people to send samples of nurdles to him. He's got a procedure on his website, and I can get anyone information about that. You send him a select sample of your nurdles, and he will analyze them for you, which he has done. You can see the concentration of RDDT there circled in red. And he does hopanes and PCBs and a variety of chemicals to show what's happening on our own personal Kehoe Beach.
So what you're seeing now is the process. This is at my print shop in San Francisco. We have a really whiz-bang camera, and we can light these things in ways that we love. As far as the composition goes, we're really inspired by some, art from the, I'd say Kandinsky and that sort of early abstraction has really been an inspiration. And then we can light it any way we want, which is a lot of fun.
And then it goes immediately into the computer. We can take a look at that image, and then we can go back to that table and bicker more about, oh no, it needs one more little piece of green, or geez, it's got to have a little touch of red there. And back and forth it goes. We created a large series of work for Cavallo Point that Robert was talking about, and this was a wonderful opportunity for us to participate in a project in a brand new eco resort just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Military housing there has been transformed into just an amazing conference center, resort, spa, Culinary Institute, and what every artist would love to have is a piece of their artwork in every bathroom in the facility.
Oh, these are the images. Somebody asked me, do you mind your work is in the bathroom? I said, dude, that's where the light is. so we like being in the bathroom. In fact, we have one right above our toilet, and I'm often look at it. So you get the idea of composing these things, and we have fun naming them. I suppose we should talk about collaboration at this point. You want to talk about that? I'll start.
No, I'll start.
This is pretty typical. I mean, the great thing is, as we were talking about this Dross to Gold thing, we really did meet at Kehoe Beach, and we really did have our first date there. And right after that, we had our first collaborative show. So a lot of issues that a couple will go through, we sort of compressed time into 6 months, and we had a lot of very ferocious battles, honestly, trying to get our two sensibilities joined. And Judith just did a wonderful piece about that. We found a kid's plastic pirate knife on the beach. And so she rigged up a thing that looked like, out of concentric black plastic lids, we rigged up a trophy, and then put the knife with the point pointing toward the sky, and then Judith glued a little plastic butterfly at the tip, and it's called collaboration.
We didn't exactly know when we first found that red rectangle on the beach. Before we knew it, we had 7, then there were 14, then there were many, and this is just a select sample from our red rectangle collection. But we have since discovered that they are from the Kraft Handy Snack Packs. And this is just one tiny morsel of the plastic that is floating around in the ocean, and these are just the ones that have come to Kehoe Beach. So it forces the question of how many are there really out there. By displaying them in this grid-like form, this is from one that you would have seen last night at Stanford, we wanted to show the variety within a particular category, and you can see in these, by comparing them in this way, the evidence that some have been long at sea. There are bits of coral growing on some of them. Some have faded by sun. And each item has its own particular history. And someone, believe it or not, consumed that little handy pack snack